Sheriff Todd Baxter, District Attorney Sandra Doorley. My name is Chris Chichester. I live at 26 Sanders Farm Drive in Penfield, and I'm using the instrument called the Freedom of Information Law to demand public information from you. And the two documents that I demand immediately are a list of salaries at the District Attorney's Office, the Sheriff's Office, also called the Public Employee Payroll. Today is November 21st, 2020. This is the Freedom of Information Law. You already sent via email, and I'm going to send these to you, registered mail return receipt, and update dates on here, but you've received them. What you received, which I'm going to read, received on November 19th. Every Freedom of Information Law in here on November 21st you received on November 19th. Every Freedom of Information Law that I'm going to read on November 21st, you received on November 17th. Every Freedom of Information Law I'm going to read on November 21st, you received on November 15th. Also sent these same to you on June 22nd. Every single one here I'm going to read you received on June 22nd. June 24th, every single one I'm going to read on here received on June 24th. And every single one on December 23rd, 2019. I've also sent you the same in between those dates. In between those dates, you received Freedom of Information Law from me. I can't hold up every one because I'd be here for the next 10 minutes. And you're going to refuse to comply with every single one. I have, even though you took two out of my residence when Lee LaRoque came in here, this fanatic, degenerate sociopath, and you're a fanatic, a degenerate, and a sociopath, Todd Baxter, and you're a fanatic, a degenerate, and a sociopath, Sandra Doorley. I have a list of salaries. Even though you took a copy out of my residence when Lee LaRoque was in here. I have a list of salaries for the District Attorney's Office, even though you took a copy out of my residence when Lee LaRoque was in here. This has your six-figure cops on here, Todd Baxter. Cop after cop after cop. Making $100,000 or more. This is why the state controller needs to audit you. If the state controller descends on 130 South Plymouth Avenue, demands that you account for how you spend taxpayer dollars, I'm confident he's going to find criminal offenses. And I'm confident that you could possibly be indicted. I'm not an attorney. Possibly indicted. Because in a way, you are. Because you are corrupt to your bone marrow. You, Todd Baxter, are corrupt, and you are so delusional that you do not know that you're corrupt. And you are so in denial that you do not know you're corrupt. And the same thing for you, Sandra Doorley. Conviction Integrity Unit, do I have that right? You have to create or had to create a separate bureaucracy to police yourself, Madam District Attorney. You got your six-figure assistant district attorneys on here. You got the six-figure cops. That's all you are at the sheriff's office. I don't care that you're at the sheriff's office. Because you have that arrogance that you work on the sheriff's office. All you are is a fucking cop. And all you are, Todd Baxter, is a fucking cop. That's all you are. Does not matter that you work at the sheriff's office. You're a bunch of cops and corrupt cops. Corrupt to your bone marrow, Todd Baxter. When you talk to Kevin Baxter and Zachary Baxter, you should tell each to never to aspire to a career in law enforcement, to never be like you. District Attorney's Office payroll. This is a nauseating, sickening document. You six-figure lawyers here, Sandra Doorley. Raymond Benitez, $117,798. Raymond. I believe I could be wrong because I'm doing this from memory. That I looked at your name and I didn't look at this before as I was preparing. Are you the assistant district attorney? Is the DWI bureau under you? Is that your main responsibilities, the drunk drivers? That's a serious offense. There's no doubt about that. Get behind the wheel and you're drinking, you could take a life. $117,798 for the drunks. Do you do anything else besides the drunk drivers, Raymond? Are you Raymond at the district attorney's office, a party switching fraud, Sandra Doorley, paid $117,798 just for the DWI cases. Do you do anything else, Raymond, at the district attorney's office besides DWI cases? I hope I have that right, because I believe when I looked at the biographies of the employees at the district attorney's office, I believe that the DWI bureau is you. And if it's not you, then the person at the DWI bureau is a six-figure salary. That I'm confident of. Raymond, right above you and your $117,798 salary is Amanda Balling at $108,338. What do you do, Amanda Balling, for $108,000? Did you negotiate that salary, Amanda Balling? Because I've asked this over and over on YouTube, and I'll be doing this in writing, because I'm not familiar with how Todd Baxter allows his employees to negotiate their salaries, given the bizarre numbers. Because when I worked in Albany for the majority leading governor, and on Capitol Hill for Senator Olympia Snowe and Congressman Laura Smith, when I negotiated my salary, which is when told my salary, it was rounded off. In Albany, $40,000, $55,000, $75,000. My $75,000 salary was in Newsday when I worked for George Pataki. It was an item in Newsday about my salary, because my father worked for Newsday. And the reporter I knew at Newsday knew my father worked for Newsday. So we wrote an item on me. It was only about 200 words. My salary was in Newsday. And then my salary was in the Washington Post once when they printed the salaries for every congressional aide. I was a press secretary for Congressman Lamar Smith, Texas. There was my salary, just like everybody else in the office. And everybody else of the 435 members of the House of Representatives, every staff member saw their salary for when they did this. So my salary is $40,000, $55,000, $70,000, $80,000. It was rounded off. It's a coherent number. It wasn't, Amanda Balling, sweetheart, $108,338. I mean, did you go in there with this vicious negotiation with your boss, party switcher, Sandra Doorley, and say, Sandra, I want $108,338. That's my final. That's what I came up with in my big brain last night. $108,338. That's what I want. Not $108,335. Not $108,340. I want $108,338. When I laugh, I try not to laugh. But it's just stooge, buffoonery, incompetence, your disgusting existence in Monroe County that forces me to laugh. And I try not to laugh when I laugh. Because there's nothing funny about this sickening descent on my life by you fucking fanatics, Todd Baxter. Oh, Todd, did I just curse there? Did I just swear? Because I'm leaving my residence one day, and here comes Nancy Dooley from this business at 2025 Penfield Road, and that's where you put the surveillance device. You finally admitted it was a surveillance device. Here comes this Nancy Dooley. I'm standing with my wonderful little guy, my Shih Tzu I adopted from Lollipop Farm. Here this whack job is pulling out of the parking lot, doesn't drive away. Isn't that right, Nancy? Just drive away. And I have no tolerance for your surveillance state cult and you with Elliot Roth. And what do I say to you, Nancy Dooley? What do I say to you as you just stay in your vehicle, looking at me and my little guy? I'm waiting for my little guy to urinate and defecate, my wonderful little guy I had for 9 years. I'm just waiting. And you don't drive away, Nancy Dooley. And I say to you, what do I say to you, Nancy? You know exactly what I said to you. Isn't that right, Nancy? What did I say to you, Nancy? Because I was in contact with you, honey. I have zero tolerance for your surveillance state cult, and I say, what the fuck are you looking at? Fuck you. That's what I told you right there. Isn't that right? This hurts your precious feelings, Nancy Dooley. Fuck you, Nancy Dooley. So what you did is you called the Monroe County Sheriff's Office because I said, what the fuck are you looking at? Fuck you. And they don't tell you that you're an extremist. They don't laugh you off the phone. There they are knocking on my door. This Deputy Savino and a female. Deputy Savino walks in to my residence. I let him in. I walk to the center of my residence. I turn around and there he is right here. He's 6 inches from my face. And he says to me, what did you say to the woman in the car? And I say to him, what the fuck you looking at? Fuck you. And he replies, don't swear at me. You, Todd Baxter, are delivering your fanatics, degenerates, and sociopaths to my residence to tell me how to talk. You, Todd Baxter, are monitoring me and supervising my First Amendment right to free speech. So when I attack you as a fanatic, a degenerate, and sociopath, there are 200 examples from me about how you behave in this way. You personally behave in this way, and your employees. You're coming to my house to tell me how to talk. And when I told this Nancy Doorley about this, there's no response from her. Isn't that right, Nancy? You call the Monroe County Sheriff's Office to my house because I said to you, what the fuck you looking at? Fuck you. What crime am I committing? Because, Nancy, in this email that I sent to you, and you, Neeraj and Lily Kumash, I should pay attention to this too, because I have never committed a crime. New York Consolidated Laws, Penal Law, 240.50, false reporting an incident in third degree. Person is guilty of false reporting an incident in third degree, knowing the information reported conveyed or circulated to be false basis. She initiates the circulation of false report or warning of an alleged occurrence or pending occurrence of a crime, catastrophe, emergency, and circumstances of which unlikely the public seems will result, which did not in fact occur or does not in fact exist. I skipped over some language to get to did not in fact occur or does not in fact exist. You're calling the sheriff's office, Nancy Dooley, to my house because I used profanity and told you to fuck off. How's that a crime, Nancy Dooley? How do they possibly not laugh you off the phone? What are you doing on my front lawn here, Todd Baxter, knocking on my door? So, Raymond Benitez. These are the six. I'm just going to read the six-figure salaries at the district attorney's office. Amanda Bowling, $108,338. Raymond Benitez, $117,798. Elizabeth Buckley, $115,302. Robin Catalano, $113,465. Michelle Crowley, $117,798. Perry Duckles, $129,525. David Dice, $103,599. William Gargan, $113,465. Julie Hahn, $117,798. Michael Harrigan, $108,338. Jennifer Hyatt, $100,188. Mervine Merritt, $101,407. Mark Monahan, $123,817. Matthew Schwartz, $117,798. Sarah Von Stronach, $113,465. So you have here Sandra Doorley, in addition to your $203,089 salary, which is obviously or has to be in statute. You have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 employees make $100,000 or more. So when I contact the state controller and tell him you should be audited, one of the reasons is these 15 salaries at $100,000 or more. It's public service, Sandra Doorley. Public service. I didn't know anyone when I worked in public service, and I still have friends that work in Albany and on Capitol Hill, real friends I'm in contact with, not just people I used to know. No one makes $100,000. I didn't work with anybody that made $100,000. I don't know anybody today that works in Albany and Washington, D.C. that makes $100,000 or more. You got 15 people here. This is not the big city. This is not the Manhattan District Attorney's office here. This is Rochester. And as much as I love Rochester, it's not a big city. And here you are with your 15 assistant district attorneys making $100,000 or more. This is why the state controller, I'm confident, needs to audit you. And I'm confident that when he does audit you, he's going to find practices that possibly violate the law. See how long it takes to get to the first six-figure salary, Todd Baxter, on one of the payrolls took out of my house. See how long it takes. Not that long. Second page, Kenneth Willis, $101,843. Salary after salary on there, $101,000. What does Kenneth Willis do for $101,000, Todd Baxter? That's one of your $100,000 cops, Kenneth Willis. What's he do? Where's he located? Can you answer that? If you, Todd Baxter, sat down with the Democrat and Chronicle and they asked you, what does your $101,000 employee, Kenneth Willis, do at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office? Could you answer that question? You, Sandra Doorley, a disgusting, vile, sickening criminal operation. It's going to take me to the grand jury next month. And I'm going to be a ham sandwich. Running away from Todd Baxter's fanatics, degenerates, and sociopaths. Hiding in the bushes of my neighbor here at Sands Farm Drive. Your employees, Todd Baxter, walked onto the front lawn of my neighbor, my 70-plus-year-old neighbor, and hid in the bushes. They were on her property, waiting for me to come outside. And on the body camera footage that I believe that you edited, because they don't turn it on, they parked on Penfield Road, doesn't automatically go on. You cannot see them on the body camera footage I saw. That should be on continuously. When they exit that vehicle for me, they are here for me. And what are their names? And you're going to refuse to even tell me their names. I'm going to be in contact with you relentlessly. And I hope to be on YouTube every single day before I have to go to the grand jury. And the fact that I have to go to the grand jury with my excellent, dedicated public defender, Regina Harper, enrages me. And I'm going to be on YouTube demanding information from you. And you're going to refuse every single time. Just like these Freedom of Information Law documents that I'm going to read, you're going to refuse to comply. I want the new payroll from the district attorney's office and sheriff's office so I can see how you gave raises. I want to look at the names that I had. You know, you took 2 payrolls out of my residence when his search warrant was executed with Lee LaRoque, because I have 1 less copy of each. So I want to look at what I have. And I want to see how you gave raises at the sheriff's office and district attorney's office. Then I want to see your new employees and how you hire a new employee. Because a new employee could be different. It could be someone that's just graduated as an undergraduate or graduated from law school. And that person at 23, 24, 25 years old is not going to be paid the same amount of salary as someone that's 35 years old and came from a local police department, for example, or another district attorney's office or a law firm and has significant experience. So it's going to be different. So I want to see your new employees, what you pay your new employees. I'll know right away the names. I'll know right away the new names on the sheriff payroll and district attorney's payroll, the new employees and what you pay them. And then I'm going to look at the current names and see if there's been an increase. This is called accountability. Todd Baxter and Sandra Doorley, I am your accountability. Attempt to commit a crime. Regina gave me this. I leave my residence. I walk alongside my residence. Your employees are running at me across the street. I'm running away. Running away from them. You can see the body camera footage. Running away. It doesn't matter where I'm running from. Do you understand that? What are their names? You won't even tell me their names when you get this. Click reply and tell me the names. The body camera footage, which has been edited, because it's not continuous. I can tell just by looking at it from what I have that's been edited or tampered with. And I'm not some conspiracy theorist. Doesn't matter when it goes on and where you first see me. When you first see me on the body cameras, that doesn't matter where I am, because that's not a crime. What you're charging me with is running up onto my back porch after I grabbed the hammer. Your employee, I'm about to run back in my residence, because at that point, I did not know who's running at me. I did not know who was running at me until I got on the back porch. And the only reason the hammer went up is your employee, Todd Baxter, grabbed me by the arm. So he grabs me by the arm. The hammer I just grabbed goes up like this. I pull away, run back in my house. That's how you concocted a felony for me. That's not a Mel Brooks film, which I just described to you. I'm running back into my residence, up on my back porch. Your employee, Todd Baxter, grabs my arm. The hammer I just grabbed on the side of the house goes up like this. I pull away, run back to my house. That's how you concocted a felony. How is that a felony? He says I swung it at him. I can hardly wait to hear this guy testify in the grand jury. And you know what I don't know, because I have the grand jury instructions here, attempt to commit a crime, is if I can talk to this guy. I should be able to talk to this guy while he's up there charging me the crime. And I'm confident that the courtroom procedure or rules will not allow me to talk to these two whack jobs, even though they're concocting a felony for me. That's the other thing I want to ask Regina. If I can talk to these two guys, because there are things that I want to say directly to them instead of having to whisper it to her and then have her tell them. Because I've never been in a grand jury. I don't know how this works. I'm trying not to laugh because I can't be enraged all the time, which there are times when I am about what has happened to me. And sometimes a little levity helps with emotional stability when your life is under siege by a fanatical, degenerate sociopath sheriff and his fellow fanatics, degenerate sociopaths. So anyway, this is attempt to commit a crime. Intent means a conscious objective or purpose. Thus, a person acts with intent to commit a crime when his or her conscious objective or purpose is to commit that crime. How do I have a conscious objective or purpose to commit a crime when I'm running away and I'm on my back porch and your employee, Todd Baxter, grabs me by the arm? How's that a felony? You are such a joke, a buffoon, a total nauseating, sickening, vile disgrace. What would you think if Kevin Baxter, Zachary Baxter, was charged with a felony on a back porch of where they live? What would you think about that? Running away from the cops and having one of them grab his arm, because if I would have made it into my residence on my back porch, then there's nothing. The only reason why these two whack jobs are able to concoct a felony for me is that they put their hands on me and pulled me, and then up went the hand with the hammer. How's that a felony? Does it matter to you, anybody at the district attorney's office? Raymond, baby, why don't you take a break from the drunks, okay? And your $117,000 a year salary, at the district attorney's office. And why don't you go talk to, like a real lawyer there, one of your other six-figure lawyers there at the district attorney's office. And why don't you ask one of them, one of these other six-figure attorneys here, like Raymond, are you cashing any check right now, Raymond? You have to spend some money. Your $170,798 check there for handling all the drunks in Monroe County. So why don't you ask $115,300 to Elizabeth Buckle. Elizabeth, sweetheart, what crime am I committing running onto my back porch when my arm is grabbed by the Monroe County Sheriff employees? Up goes my arm, and I run back to my house. Elizabeth Buckley, how's that a felony? I really why don't you ask your $203,089 boss, Sandra Doorley, how that's a felony? You know what I'm demanding too in these freedom of information laws? You're also going to refuse to tell me what's the name of this boy that's going to take me to the grand jury. I've been delivered to jail twice in Penfield Town Court without the prosecutor talking. Does that matter to you, Sandra Doorley? And you won't tell me the name of this employee, this female, the first time, and you won't tell me the name of the male the second time. Delivered to jail. Oh, excuse me. The second time, there was no one in Penfield Town Court. Pardon me. I need to get this straight. First time as a woman in Penfield Town Court, didn't talk. John P. Lomenzo Jr., 70-year-old hack, pronounces me guilty. I go to jail. Second time, I'm taken after I'm knocked down at Wegmans. My head hits the cement pavement. I'm taken to Penfield Town Court with Paula Metzler. There's nobody there. She declares me guilty, and I go to Livingston County. Why am I in Livingston County, Todd Baxter? I'm going to write to you about that. There'll be no answer from you because you can't answer that. So, first time, prosecutor didn't talk. Second time, the prosecutor's not there. Now, I have to go to the grand jury. What's the name of this boy, Sandra Doorley? Is it the same guy? What's the name of this boy that didn't talk? What's his name? Tell me. What's the name of the individual that's going to take me to the grand jury? You should tell me his name. Isn't that right, Madam District Attorney? Tell me the name of this boy that's going to take me to the grand jury. I'm going to read you that freedom of information. You know what you're going to do? It's going to be a public proceeding. Doesn't have to be in secret. I see it on TV. The grand jury's in secret. So? Grand jury is going to be public. I don't even know how this works. All right? I didn't watch enough LA Law, honey. What's going to be the name of your employee that's going to take me to the grand jury when I'm running away from Todd Baxter's employees and they're concocting a felony for me on my back porch? What's his name? Click reply and tell me. And I'm going to be in contact with you relentlessly up until the time I have to go to the grand jury. It's going to get to the point, it's going to be every single day you're going to be signing for this. Tell me his name. I'm going to be saying to you, tell me his name, tell me his name, tell me her name, because it could change. You never know. And you're going to refuse every time to tell me the name of your public employee who's going to take me to the grand jury when I'm running away from Todd Baxter's fanatics, degenerates, and sociopaths, and they're concocting a felony for me on my back porch. Search warrant for Paul Metzler's a bald-headed, wig-wearing hack. Coming in here looking for a hammer. Took my laptop, my Chromebook out of my house. Wearing these blue gloves. These blue gloves are on the floor. I have papers around me here now because I usually put them over there, which is a bookcase on its side, which I turned over because I have so many papers from what I'm doing that when I finish here, I put them in folders and I put them right over there. It's a bookcase on its side right there. Then when I got home, I ran home from Monmouth County Jail at 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm running home because I'm a runner. I was thinking about that song at the end of the film, The Gambler with Mark Wahlberg, that beautiful instrumental. Have you seen that film? I think it was 8 miles I ran home. I was so glad I was a runner. So I got in here, and he went crazy in here with this Lee LaRoque. There were papers strewn all on the floor. All the papers I have here, when I finish here with these papers, I put them in stacks. I take a clip, I write the date, and then I know what I have. And it was all thrown on the floor. He looked underneath my bed upstairs. My military uniform from the 101st Airborne Division, my dress greens I have not worn since 1988 were on the floor upstairs. The cabinets were open. My father gave me his dresser from when he was a child in Brooklyn. The drawers were open on my father's dresser. He went through my father's dresser. Even though I have it, it'll always be my father's dresser. What are you doing looking through my father's dresser? This is the invasion of my life by you. At the district attorney's and sheriff's office, you're going through the drawers of my father's dresser. It doesn't matter that my things are in there. That's always his dresser. You went in the bathroom. Cabinets to the bathroom underneath the sink were open. You went into the basement. I know the way the basement looks. You're going through things in the basement. It's an unkept basement. And you went down there going through things in the basement. I could tell. Because I know what it looks like, given how long I've lived here. So you're in the basement, you're on the first floor, you're on the second floor. You were going berserk in here with the search warrant, looking for a hammer. Is that right? Where's my Chromebook, Leah LaRoque? Who the hell is Leah LaRoque? Todd Baxter and Sandra Doorley. This is not the payroll that you took out of the house, as I've said. She's not on here. That name is not on here. On the one I have. Who is Leah LaRoque? Tell me that name. Pardon me. This is what I was looking for. Proof by affidavit. Investigator, Deputy Sheriff Investigator with the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. Deputy Sheriff Investigator. Deputy Sheriff Investigator. Deputy Sheriff Investigator. I don't know if that's a 1984 where that's the title, but there's no Leah LaRoque on here. On this payroll I have of your approximately 170 names. Deputy Sheriff Investigator. Proof by affidavit. Having been this day made before me by Investigator Lee Leroy. Proof by affidavit? What affidavit? That's another thing. I'm going to write to bald-headed, wig-wearing Paula Messer and ask her for this proof by affidavit. How? How does that work? Proof by affidavit. Again, with you attorneys, where everything has to be explained. And when it's explained, you still can't understand it. Proof by affidavit. What's that mean? How do you get into my residence by proof by affidavit, having made this day before me by Investigator Lee LaRoque, Deputy Sheriff of Criminal Investigation with the Mountain County Sheriff's Office, assigned to the Criminal Investigative Section? Reasonable cause to believe that the information disclosed below me and found within the premises described below as evidence that of the crimes of reckless endangerment, trespass, petty larceny, criminal tampering, resisted arrest, attempted assault, in violation of New York State penal law. Everything in there is a lie. This is the 1984 of your nauseating, repulsive Monroe County Sheriff's Office, Todd Baxter. When I write to you about how you allowed Leah Burden to escape from your custody at the hospital, I'm gonna have detailed writings about Leah LaRoque that immediately follow that the next day. Who was Leah LaRoque, Sandra, Doorley, and Todd Baxter? Freedom of Information Law. Keyword, Sandra Doorley and Todd Baxter is law. Do you understand the key word? When you receive this tomorrow morning or Monday, click reply, send me the public list of salaries for the sheriff's office and district attorney's office. Put it in PDF and send it to me. And I'm going to send this to you, registered mail, return receipt, and ignore both. Even though you got it by email, you can see me on YouTube. You'll get it by registered mail, return receipt, and you ignore it. I will not receive the payroll for the Monroe County Sheriff's Office or the Monroe County District Attorney's Office with this Freedom of Information law dated November 21st, 2020. I will not receive it. You will not send it to me. On Monday when you receive it, 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th, 27th, I will not receive it. Despite the fact that this is the document that compels you to send it to me. Freedom of Information Law. Names and salaries of every public employee at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office of Sheriff Todd K. Baxter. Christopher Chichester, November 21st, 2020. Signature and dated the same. Names and salaries of every public employee at the Monroe County District Attorney's Office of District Attorney Sandra Doorley. My signature, November 21st. It's base salary. And how do you pay your public employees when the 41st hour is worked? There was no overtime when I was a public employee in Albany and in Washington, D.C. Salary was your salary. And when you worked on the 40th hour, you could take compensatory time, and those hours would build up, and then you could take that time off to work on campaigns and then get paid on campaigns. That's the way it worked when I was there. But public employees in a district attorney's office and sheriff's office, unlike public employees that are staff for elected officials in Albany and Washington, D.C., do receive overtime. How do you do that at the sheriff's office and at the district attorney's office? Because there are stories throughout the United States about offices just like yours that have employees abusing overtime. Because there's going to be an employee, he wants to be there at 70 hours, even though he may not be working, to collect that paycheck. How do you do that at the sheriff's office and district attorney's office? And this is another reason why the state controller needs to audit you. Total cost of overtime, time and a half, or hour paid beyond the base salary calculated at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office, Todd K. Baxter. Total cost of overtime, time and a half, or hour paid beyond the base salary calculated at the Monroe County District Attorney's Office, Sandra Doorley. When I began to work for Senate Majority Leader Ralph Marino in 1991, I was 25 years old. And I was sitting in the office one day, in the press office. And I love to work in that office. I worked there for 4 years. Under communications director Ed Martin, John McCardle, and they're very well known in Albany. excellent men that I learned a lot from. And the reason why I tell you this is that I think it was inside the first month I was there, I was sitting at my desk, and there was a desk in front of me, a desk behind me, and there was a woman I worked with who sat in front of me. And we had a man who was an older staffer, 50 plus years old, twice my age at the time. And he came into the office. He would come in every once in a while. And this is during the first month. And one day he walked up to this woman who sat in front of me, my colleague, and he just put his hands on her neck and he started to give her a neck rub like this. And I'm looking at this going on, and she's not moving in front of me. She's just sitting there in front of me. I'm looking at him go like this to her on her neck. And it was disgusting to watch this. And this went on for about 20 to 25 seconds, which I think is an eternity if you're her. And then he walked away. And she just sat there, stone cold frozen. And I didn't say anything to her, and she didn't say anything to me, and that was the end of it. That's not a sexual harassment that rises to the level of a sexual assault or rape. But it's totally inappropriate behavior. And that's inappropriate behavior that should never happen at the workplace. And anybody that engages in that type of behavior should be counseled and warned and told, if you ever do that again, you're fired. You're on the pavement, unemployment. That's what's going to happen to you. And I think that individuals that do that one time should be subject to being fired. But people make mistakes in life, including egregious ones like that one. And I'm disgusted in America by people sometimes that do make mistakes. And it's like you want to burn them at the stake and destroy them and destroy their lives. But it was disgusting what he did. And perhaps he should be fired if this is the way he acts around other women. One time and walking away, I think that's borderline. But placing your hands on someone at the office is harassment. That's harassment. There's no doubt about that. No man, it's almost always a man, should ever place his hands on a woman at the office. So, as your employees, Todd Baxter, behave like animals, and you're an animal, Todd Baxter, I'm confident that your employees, your male employees, are sexually harassing female employees at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. And I'm confident that your male employees at the District Attorney's Office, Sandra Doorley, are sexually harassing your female employees. I'm confident that that is going on. Sexual harassment is a man asking a woman out on a date over and over and over, and she's under siege with the word no. Sexual harassment is a man using disgusting, vile, sickening, profane language, either in person, verbally, on email to a woman. And this is going on repeatedly. And that qualifies as harassment, where he's using this language and sending these emails, and she wants to be left alone. So, it's using certain language. It's asking a woman out on a date. It's touching her at the office. There are any number of ways it manifests itself. So, have you, Sandra Doorley, as the Freedom of Information Law demands, used taxpayer dollars to settle employment-related discrimination lawsuits under Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964? What's the answer to that question, Sandra Doorley? If the answer is no, it has finality. No, I have not used taxpayer dollars to settle employment-related discrimination lawsuits under Title VII of the Civil Rights Act. There's the freedom. I'm going to be you, Sandra, sweetheart. Chris, I received your Freedom of Information Law, and I read it, and the answer to your demand, if I have used taxpayer dollars to settle employment-related discrimination lawsuits under Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, is no. Then it has finality. Is the answer yes or no? District Attorney Sandra Doorley. And Sheriff Todd Baxter. That's it right there. These are the two Freedom of Information laws. One for you, Todd, and one for you, Sandra. Have you used taxpayer dollars to settle these lawsuits? Yes or no? This is why the United States Department of Justice needs to investigate you, because you will not answer yes or no. You will have to answer yes or no if the United States Department of Justice demands yes or no. You can ignore me. Who the hell am I? I'm just a citizen and a voter. This is why the United States Department of Justice needs to come to your offices and talk to you directly, Sandra, Doorley, and Todd Baxter, about the way your employees behave. Because you will have to talk to them. You won't be able to send staff or send my number 2. You will have to talk to the United States Department of Justice, Sandra, Doorley, and Todd Baxter, because I'm going to be in contact with the United States Department of Justice about you, Sandra, Doorley, and Todd Baxter. I've seen mental illness in my life. People that I love and respect, admire, and to see someone that you love or respect or admire be afflicted with a mental illness is difficult to accept. Not only for me, I'm nothing special in that regard. There are millions of people that confront this with people in their lives that mean everything to them. And when I watch television and occasionally see people talk about how they're under surveillance by the government, it is really heartbreaking to listen to these individuals who are in such pain and in such a state of denial and delusion that they cannot accept the fact that no one is surveilling them. They're not under surveillance by the government, by a government agency, government employee, no one. You, Sheriff Todd Baxter, bought a surveillance device and put it on the building at 2025 Penfield Road for me. I finally saw that footage when my public defender, Regina Harper, showed it to me when I went to her office in Rochester. But it was showed to me first by your employee, Todd Baxter, because your employee had the video image of me on the phone. When I came outside here, tell a guy in his tractor from Broccolo Tree and Lawn Care that nobody owns that land. And that's the one that's not included in the links that Regina sent me. That's the one I demanded 50 plus times from this same camera. The same camera. I come out here, I tell the guy on his tractor, I stood right here, say nobody owns that land, I walk back in my house. How is that a crime? Party switching, bald-headed, fanatic, degenerate, and sociopath Todd Baxter. How is it a crime to walk outside, stand here, tell this guy on his tractor nobody owns that land, and walk back in my house? Tell me how that's criminal contempt second. Because when they took me to your jail after Shannon Meyer fell down in my backyard dirt, this pathetic lying hack, your employee showed me the video on his phone. It has an assigned number because I came to your office twice, 2 different offices. And the first time I came, the guy knew exactly what I was talking about. This is not every day you put a surveillance device on a building in Monroe County for one innocent citizen to concoct a crime for that innocent citizen, party switching, bald-headed criminal corrupt Todd Baxter. Where's the video that was on the phone of this hack from when I came outside here? Because either 2 things are happening, one of 2 things are happening. You're withholding it and you still have it, and that's a crime. You're withholding evidence. How's that not a crime? I'm not an attorney. I could be wrong. If you're withholding evidence in a case like mine, which is continuing, that's a crime. The video of me was on the phone of your employee. over and over and over. Email to your employees. Foil. Send me that deal and refuse to sign it. So you're withholding evidence. Or it doesn't exist anymore. Then that's the destruction of evidence. I got a form that says, we don't know, essentially, we don't have it, we don't know what he's talking about. Really? Is that right? Either you're withholding it or you destroyed it. Which one is it, Todd Baxter? With the, wait for it, surveillance device that you spent taxpayer dollars to buy for me. Sick, disgusting, vile hack. Do you have swimmers at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office? The reason why I ask is because of these guys that are underwater. Underwater in a pool. This was on your Facebook page. Freedom of Information Law. Cost of taxpayers photography session approved by Monroe County Sheriff Todd Baxter to photograph 10 public employees underwater in a pool. Where was this photograph taken? Did you hire a photographer using taxpayer dollars? And what's the purpose of this photograph? I'm told it's a training exercise. What training is going on? This is on your Facebook page. Was this taken during normal work hours? Why are your 10 employees underwater in a pool? This is disgusting. Why? Is this the dive team? Do you have a dive team for Lake Ontario or not? What are your public employees doing underwater for a photography session? This is them. Did you see this? Did someone come to you at 130 South Plymouth Avenue and say, this is what we did over the weekend, this is what we did yesterday, this is what we did, and showed it to you? It was on your Facebook page. I know that you don't monitor your Facebook page. You don't post to your Facebook page. I don't even know if you are aware that there's content on there, like this content. Did you know that this photograph was taken? People talk at work. Guess what we did yesterday? Is the answer yes or no? If the answer is that it's training exercise, then that's done in an official capacity of the Monroe County Sheriff's Office. And if it's a training exercise, then taxpayer dollars were spent to take this photograph. Party switching, bald-headed fraud, Todd Baxter. And how much money did you spend in taxpayer dollars to photograph 10 of your public employees underwater in a pool? Freedom of Information Law. The cost for hotel and plane ticket for Monroe County Sheriff employee Ryan Fisher attended the Super Bowl in Atlanta, Georgia on February 3rd, 2019 with his canine dog, Lola. There he is in Atlanta, Georgia, Ryan Fisher. And his name's not on the payroll. I didn't see it on the payroll. Is Ryan Fisher still employed at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office? Why is Ryan Fisher in Atlanta, Georgia? Why is Ryan Fisher out of Rochester, out of Monroe County, out of New York, in the South, in Georgia? What possible reason could there be for him to be in front of Mercedes-Benz Stadium with his canine dog, Lola? Were you aware that your employee, Ryan Fisher, flew to Atlanta, Georgia, and stayed in a hotel in Atlanta, Georgia? How much was that plane ticket? How much was the hotel? And then his dog needs to be cared for. Was this all done courtesy of the taxpayers of Monroe County in New York? Is the answer yes? Is the answer no? And the answer from you, Todd Baxter, is I will refuse to answer. The tweet. I'm going to try not to laugh when I read this tweet. Because Ryan Fisher's not doing anything in Atlanta, Georgia, except having a good time. He's down there for fun. Atlanta, Georgia is fun city for Ryan Fisher, Monroe County Sheriff Office employee during the Super Bowl. He's not doing any security. He's not doing any police work. It's fun city for Ryan Fisher in Atlanta, Georgia with his canine dog Lola. Quote, Monroe County Sheriff's Office Twitter account. Quote, as we get ready to watch Super Bowl, we are grateful to the men and women assigned to keep fans and players safe in Atlanta, including MCS Sozo, Ryan Fisher, and Canine Lola. Deputy Fisher sent this photo from Atlanta. Thank you both for your service. Service. Service is an altruistic act. Service is one human being dedicated to something good. This is not service, Todd Baxter. This is your delusional, sick definition of service. A junket. This is a junket. A junket enrages taxpayers. Party-switching, bald-headed fraud, Todd Baxter. You, Sheriff Todd Baxter, need to lose weight. I don't know what you look like now, but the pictures that I've seen of you, multiple pictures, photograph after photograph after photograph, I will guess that you are 20 pounds overweight. That's my guess. But you're the sheriff. And you do whatever the hell you want. Employees, that's different. And they're younger too. Why are employees overweight? Do you understand that there is a necessary physical strength to work in law enforcement? I go to Gold's Gym every day where I use the treadmill, the bike, the rowing machine, the weights. It's my same routine. I'm there for 2 hours every day, either early in the morning or late at night. You do have employees that are in shape and they look like they're in terrific shape. And then you have the employees I've seen on your Facebook page. And this is the majority of the employees that are definitely overweight. There's pride in appearance when you wear a uniform for law enforcement. You cannot have pride in appearance when you're 10 pounds, 15 pounds, 20 pounds overweight. And then you're also placing yourself in jeopardy when you're out of shape like that. Because violent criminals can exert the necessary strength to overpower a law enforcement employee that is not in shape. That's just common sense. I looked at your Facebook page. There was a man and a woman. The woman, she had blonde hair. And she was 40 plus pounds overweight. 40 plus pounds. And there was another guy that was also in that same vicinity of being overweight in a separate photo because you had some ceremony. And at this ceremony, I'm looking at your employees on your Facebook page. And these two in particular stood out because they were the two that I determined were the most overweight. How do you allow your employees to be overweight like that? You see them. You see your employees. Have you ever gone up to a guy, an employee, and said you're overweight, lose weight? And the answer is no. You have no standards. And you're overweight. That's why. You can't tell another guy or woman, you can't tell an employee that's a man or a woman, pardon me, you, Todd Baxter, cannot tell another employee that's a man or a woman that he or she is overweight. It's you, Todd, the fascist dude, you're overweight. Michael Rather, what do you make on the payroll, Michael, baby? What do you make on the payroll? 0. I thought you were getting salary. I thought you were double dipping. I wasn't corrected. What do you do with the office for $0? That's what the state controller should ask you. She'll refuse to answer that question from me. Date and year, Monroe County Sheriff Todd Baxter rehired Michael Rather after his 20-plus year career with the Sheriff's Office ended. Why? You're a private citizen, correct? You are a private citizen, Michael Rather. What skills do you possess that are so valuable that after your career ended, that you're back at the sheriff's office making $0. Are you paid in any way? Are you paid from any private fund connected to Sheriff Todd Baxter? Because why would you go into the office? Why would you go into the office for 5 minutes if you're not paid? Are you paid any sum of money to work at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office where you're listed on the list of salaries, but you're paid $0 because you are an employee? You are a $0 employee. But are you paid in any way from any organization, either public or private? Pardon me, because I keep thinking it would be private. Are you paid in any way money, Michael Rather, to work at the Monroe County Sheriff's Office? So answer yes or no, and your boss, Todd Baxter, will refuse to answer. Jail's a public facility. Tell me who's there, Todd Baxter. The names and charges of every inmate in Monroe County Jail from January 1, 2018 to November 21, 2020. Who's there? Separate your inmates. Segregate your inmates. You got the violent inmates right there with the nonviolent inmates. You have to be told this as soon as possible tomorrow. Go to your jail. Go to your jail immediately. Don't tell me coming. Call your driver. Call an employee you trust. And the two of you go over there and walk in there unannounced. You perhaps you already do that. If you do that, good. But do it again and just walk in there. Separate your inmates, segregate your inmates, nonviolent from violent, for their own safety. Send me a name, Sandra Doorley. A simple name is the first of two names. Send me both names. Documentation for the case of Christopher charged as before John P. Lomenzo Jr. in Penfield Town Court. What is the name of the prosecutor, Sandra Doorley? Not one word, not one syllable. Nothing from her. What's her name, Sandra Doorley? Tell me her name. What's the name of this boy? What's the name of this boy that has my case in Penfield Town Court that did not talk before Paul Lomenzo and apparently is going to take me to the grand jury? What's his name? Documentation for the case of Christopher Chavez before Paul Lomenzo in Penfield Town Court. What's the name of the prosecutor, Sandra Doorley? Does this guy even know that I was running away? Does this guy know about the body camera footage? Does this guy know about the two fanatics, degenerates, sociopaths that are hiding in the bushes of my neighbor? Does this guy know any of that? The answer is no. You're concocting crimes again to me to deliver me to jail again. It's exactly what you're doing as an innocent man. This is what I'm doing to you on YouTube and what I'm doing to you when I contact you, register mail, return receipt. So, what you just received, Sheriff Todd Baxter and Sandra Doorley, is the instrument called the Freedom of Information Law. Now, this is from November 21st. Comply. November 21st, you just received it. PDF. I'm on YouTube. It's at 58 minutes now. Didn't break up. Sometimes that could be a problem when you're on YouTube. You got it. And November 21st, you see the same documentation. Everything I just read to you. Every single thing I just read to you. Sandra Doorley and Todd Baxter, the party switching frauds, you received on November 19th. Everything I read to you received on November 17th. Everything I read to you received on November 15th. Everything I read to you, you received on June 24th. Everything I read to you received on June 22nd. Everything I read to you received on December 23rd, 2019. 5, 6, 7. This is not everything. This is 7 different dates. It's over 100 in here now that I'm holding in my hand. That's 100 Freedom of Information Law documents. You complied with 2. when I received the list of salaries for the sheriff's office and district attorney's office. This is not everything either. 100 in here. Complied with 2. The law is a joke to you, saying during Todd Baxter. Now, Todd, I'm concerned about your behavior, and you too, Sandra, sweetheart, because, here you are, Todd, with your brother, Charlie Babbitt here, and you got this look on your face like you don't know what the hell's going on, which is his usual look here, Todd. So I'm concerned about you, here you are with your brother, Charlie Babbitt, and what's going on, Todd, and I'll tell you what's going on with you. I mean, you're totally losing control here, Todd. I mean, here you are right here. I mean, what's going on here? I don't get that at all, because I mean, look at the look on your face here, and your brother Charlie Babbitt is trying to calm you down here. So I hope you can get yourself under control at the office, because this could be really frightening, to your fellow employees. Now, I know you know how to count toothpicks when they fall on the floor. And I know you know how to count cards in Las Vegas, and I know you're fascinated with sparkly prostitutes. But you really need to get yourself under control, and you do too, Sandra. Because I mean, I don't know what's going on with you, honey, but you're down on Long Island. Yeah, I'm from Long Island, and I saw you down there, and here you are, and you're in handcuffs, and it's really disturbing. That you're down there and on Long Island, because I love Long Island. You, honey, shouldn't be anywhere near Long Island. So here you are. And the reason why you're down there on Long Island, sweetheart, is, you're hanging out with your boyfriend, Joey Buttafuoco. Sandra, and, I need to tell you that Joey here in his tiger pants, your boyfriend, Joey Buttafuoco, Sandra, is bad news for you. All right. So you, Sandra, need to break up with your boyfriend, Joey Buttafuoco, and tell him to, never wear these tiger pants again, because I don't know what the hell is going on there. All right, sweetheart. I'm trying to help you out here, with your social life, because you're obviously, real lonely, putting screws to innocent citizens. So anyway, I'd like to know from you, Todd the fascist stooge, how it's a crime to walk outside, stand right here, say nobody owns that land, and walk back in my house. Here's the guy's traffic coming down this way. I go outside. I stand right here. I say, no one owns that land, and walk back in my house. How's that a crime? Tell me. You can see that this is not a crime, because that's the first time I was shown a video. 50 plus times. Foil. Email. Send me that video. It was on the phone. Are you withholding it, or did you destroy it? This is called evidence. How's that a crime? These disgusting, sickening parasites. This is what delivers me to Monroe County Jail, this coffee-stained document that they sent me. That the defendant, that's me. I'm a defendant on a piece of paper, even though I never appeared in a courtroom as a defendant. How do you allow this Shannon Meyer to exist? Fire her ass immediately. That's $67,000 you can save. And I'm going to be in contact with her home residence. I'm going to contact Michael Bull, her husband. Everything that I've done, I'm going to be sending to him, because I want him to go to her and say, who's this Chris Chichester? And why is he saying these things about you? That the defendant on the above date approximately 1440 hours did knowingly enter or remain unlawfully in upon the premises 2041 Penfield, North, by walking through the parking lot after being told through certified mail by police that he's not on property. I wasn't told anything by certified mail. What's the police mean? This is your employee doing this to me, concocting a crime for me. In 2019, they had the fireworks at Harris Whalen Park on June 30th. Penfield High School band students walked through that parking lot that day. Before I went to Penfield High School, because I saw them. This is walking through the parking lot. Were they arrested? Were Penfield High School band students arrested for walking through that parking lot? 20, 30 or so, thereabouts, 20 or 30 Penfield High School band students walked through that parking lot. How many were arrested? After the fireworks and before the fireworks, people walking through that parking lot all day long, but particularly after the fireworks, because I got home and sat right here, I watched 200 people walk through that parking lot right by me. How many of those people were arrested? If I walk through that parking lot tomorrow, I'll be arrested. How come none of those people after the fireworks at House Mountain Park were arrested? You can't answer that question, Todd Baxter, because you live in a sick, disgusting, vile, delusional 1984 with these parasites, Layla Kumar and Nairaj Shah. And Nairaj lives with his mommy. Isn't that right, Nairaj? This guy is a true psychopath. A true psychopath. Going to you about me walking through a park line, the reason why you don't tell this true psychopath to get the hell back to 2041 Penfield Road and that Chris Chichester is not committing a crime is he will accuse you of racism. That's why. There's no doubt about that. That's what he will do. You're a racist, Todd Baxter. If you don't go and arrest this Chris Chichester, I'm demanding that you arrest. So, Nairaj lives with his mommy. There you are, Nairaj, living with your mom because you're a psycho, Nairaj. And I have your picture here. Here you are, Nairaj. Here you are. This is you, Nairaj, psycho. Psycho. I welcome my wonderful little guy I adopted from on Pop Farm. Every day the same way for 7 years. Back window flies open from this repulsive law firm because Nairaj Shah and Layla Kumar Shah called your office. There you are, your two employees at my door demanding my little guy. And then when I was on my knees in Penfield Town Court as an innocent man, Steve and carted off to jail, to Monroe County Jail, without the prosecutor talking, Sandra Doorley, and what's her name? Stephen E. Schicker, the animal control officer, had to come into my residence. This is signed by John P. Lomenzo Jr. Get my little guy. My little guy was in here alone. I think about my little guy being in here alone when I'm being taken to jail, while I'm in court without the prosecutor talking. I have to control myself and what I would like to do, thinking about my little guy being here, and I do control myself. So I don't want to do that. I don't want to lose total control thinking about my little guy being here when I'm not here and him being in pain. So I kept it together. I'm being taken to Monroe County Jail, and I know my little guy is in there, and I go to the center of the jail when I get there, and I go to this perfect man. He's at the center of the jail, and I say, my little guy, my dog's in my house. I didn't know I was going to be here at the jail. Someone needs to go and get him. This perfect man, this Monroe County Sheriff Office employee, I saw him one time on Penfield Road at Home Depot. I didn't have enough time to go and thank him. This perfect man arranged for this Stephen E. Schicker to come into my residence to get my little guy. And then when I was finally released and I wasn't being told the first time as an innocent man how long I'm going to be there. Every day I'm asking, how long am I going to be here? How long am I going to be here? I'm not told. How does that happen, Sandra Doorley? To be kept in jail twice and you're not told either time. How does that happen when you don't have a sentence? And it does not matter to you because you're corrupt to your bone marrow. It does not matter to you. I've been delivered to jail and was not told either time. Without committing crime and not being told. So then they took my guy back to Little Lollipop, and then I had to take an Uber over there to get him. And I was in such fear in that Uber going over there because they knew where I was coming from, that I wasn't going to get him back. They brought him into the room, and he came running over to me. I was on the floor, and I hugged him. I was rolling around on the floor with him. I was so happy to see him. He licked my face. He remembered right away. This is what you're doing to me. The animal control officer had to come into my house and get my little guy. And then I had to go back and re-interview to get him without committing a crime, without the prosecutor talking in court. From the sick hack, the 70-year-old John P. Lomenzo Jr., without a jury. No jury. How come there's no jury in Penfield Town Court, Sandra Doorley? Does that matter to you? The answer is no. Because justice doesn't matter to you. Justice is alien to you. This is the guy who used to come to my house. Steve Desmond refused to open his mail using a civilian to come to my house. Todd Baxter, sheriff of Monroe County, is afraid to open his mail. You, Todd Baxter, refused to open your mail when I sent it to you. Quote, I have a passion for jails. How do you tell the Democrat and Chronicle I have a passion for jails? What is wrong with you? Sheriff Todd Baxter, District Attorney Sandra Doorley, you now are in receipt of these Freedom of Information laws dated November 21st, 2020. Comply with every one. And immediately send me an email in PDF a copy of the list of salaries for the Monroe County Sheriff's Office and Monroe County District Attorney's Office. And comply with every single demand in each Freedom of Information law. My name is Christopher Chichester. I live at 26 Sanders Farm Drive in Penfield. I have never committed a crime, and whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger.